Okay.
This is enabled by larger
47% more light gathering. Ni power juga iPhone 13 punya kamera ni.
It's the biggest sensor
Kamera sensor shift macam iPhone 12 Pro Max. Ni sudah bagus.
Wait. Don't kena con by the keynote, all this marketing nonsense. No difference lah.
Ada. iPhone 12 Pro Max kot kamera dia.
No difference lah. You confirm the 12 and 13 sama je.
Tak puas hati Jom kita test.
Okay, we're gonna start with the daylight test because I feel like in this kind of scenario, which is where 99% of people take their photos, it's not gonna make a difference. Like people are not gonna notice the difference between the 12 and the 13. If anything, sometimes there's a chance the 12 might be better.
Betul, saya setuju. Kalau dalam keadaan cahaya yang cukup, 12 dengan 13, saya punya teori cakap tak ada beza. Sebab dia punya sensor, bukan sensor, chip dia punya fotografi computational semua tu dah power dah.
See lah, he's ready to admit defeat already. Trying to hedge his bets now. He knows that I'm going to win already. But never mind, it's okay. There's one way to find out. So we're going to test all the cameras and a couple of different modes. So we're going to do ultra wide. We're going to do wide. Sama?
Selfie, lepas tu portrait.
Yeah, so we're going to test all of those things. And we're also going to do a video test. Just
Video
to
test
see
untuk stabilization.
Yeah, if there's actually any difference between that. So yeah, let's get started. Watch out! Besarnya iPhone ni. Tu lah.
Hijau ni.
1x. Boop. Boop. Boop.
Ultra wide satu.
Gambar. Ultra wide. Boop. Boop. Nak max zoom. Boleh lah. Ambil je. Boop. Boop. So, let's do one more. What if it's this corner? 1, 2, 3. Ya baby.
Jom kita pergi ke next.
Apa
location.
next?
I need to sneeze.
Portrait kan? He needs to pee.
Sneeze.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That forehead.
Ni cosmonaut punya pose.
Tak dengar. Okay, 1, 2.
What you mean that forehead?
Ya, ada shiny. Sing.
Anep, coming down.
3, 2, 1, boleh gerak.
Like a gazelle.
Macam legit kan.
Ni cheating ni. This one is
cheating.
This one is fake running.
12 good.
I got people run like this.
I try to help you here.
I got people run like this. What is this?
Lari anak because your legs too short.
My legs too short.
Anda dapat tengok kami berada dalam keadaan yang gelap. Dekat sinilah saya percaya yang iPhone 13 akan kalahkan iPhone 12.
The thing that Anep doesn't understand is that smartphone photography is all about the brain, and the brain in the iPhone 12 is still very good. So I'm quite confident we will still be okay.
Rory dia tak percaya yang sensor shift stabilization ni dia boleh kalahkan electronic stabilization. Kalau nak tahu dekat iPhone 13 ni dia punya stabilization dia adalah yang jenis analog, bukan yang digital.
Mak Nip kena con by the advertising already, that's why. So we need to find out. It's okay. We're in the dark.
Sekarang kita nak record beberapa sampel. Yang pertama, gambar pegun lah, foto biasa. Lepas tu yang kedua ialah video stabilization. Kat sinilah kita akan tengok dia nanti.
We're also going to do night mode on.
Night mode on dengan night
to
mode
see
off.
what the brain looks like, and then night mode off to test if really his sensor shift makes a difference. Honestly, I think for 99% of people who are going to use it, tak ada beza. No difference at all.
Ada.
Okay, let's start. Heard that not? Scary already. Okay, so one thing we realized is that we actually can't use the tripod for this scene because if you want to test like stabilization, attacking already. If we want to test stabilization for this thing, we have to actually handheld it, which is where sensor shift will. Whether we'll find out whether sensor shift actually makes a difference or not.
Pegang handheld lah.
Yeah, so we're gonna handheld for both the night mode on,
dengan
night
video.
mode off, and the video. Yeah, so let's get started. We've got the iPhone 13 night mode off. So it's just a normal handheld shot. See whether there's any sensor shift. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna do with night mode on. So we're gonna do max night mode, which they tell me is 3 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, we're gonna do one ultra wide now. Ultra wide. So ultra wide also has night mode, which is pretty cool. 3, 2, 1, go.
Tapi ultra wide tak ada sensor shift ah. Only wide camera.
Okay lah, we'll just take a nilai just a guess.
Okey, bila kami dah kumpulkan semua material-material yang kami perlukan, kami pun pulanglah ke Cerah. Dan saya pun buatlah compilation pada gambar dengan video yang kami rakamkan tadi. Okey, kita dah kembali ke studio saya Cincau untuk kita tengok compilation gambar-gambar yang telah saya ambil dengan Rory semalam.
Really excited. I'm excited for Anep to find out that there is no difference.
Okey, kita start dengan kamera wide, kamera utama.
The main one lah.
Main one.
The one with the sensor shift.
Yang sensor dia sama macam iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Kalau ada bezel, this is the one that has the bezel lah.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Tak ada bezel pun. It looks exactly the same. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, they both look nice. A lot of detail, the
Tapi
colour.
dalam
accurate.
keynote, dia cakap 47% lagi banyak cahaya. Itu kita tengok dalam low light nanti.
But yeah, in daylight, I think they look pretty much exactly the same. HDR dia pun macam sama.
Macam sama.
I don't see a huge difference in the sky. Obviously, that day itself was quite overcast, so it wasn't a lot of dynamic range. But you can see in the
Shadow
shadows.
pun soft.
So I mean, it looks nice. It's a nice photo, but
Okay,
again,
kita pergi.
macam not a big difference. The ultra wide.
Sepatutnya tak ada beza sebab kamera yang sama.
Yeah, but I am noticing a little bit of difference from this one and the last one also. You see how like it feels like the color is a little bit more vibrant.
Oh, shifted eh.
Yeah, it's slightly brighter.
Oh, sama.
right?
Ini sama.
Tapi green dia macam a bit brighter, I feel. Not necessarily a good or bad thing, but you know it is what it is. But if we look at the bricks, I see the bricks.
Siapa sini?
Siapa? Okay lah. Sharpness, I would say
Tak banyak
similar.
beza.
But the
sangat.
yeah, but the color is slightly different also. So maybe that's the AI because with the 13, every time you start up the camera, they will ask you to choose what kind
Colour
of
profile
color,
lah,
yeah,
gitu.
what kind of color profile you wanna use. So I guess maybe that's what they tweaked here.
Ini
this
super zoom bukan super zoom, maximum zoom.
Maximum
5
zoom.
kali zoom
5x.
digital. Sebab iPhone 12 dan 13 dia tak ada telefoto.
Can you believe that a super expensive flagship phone in
Tak ada
2021
telephoto.
doesn't have a telephoto camera? Yeah, okay. So again, this one also macam no difference at all.
Yang ni ada beza.
Okay, what's
Nampak
the
yang
difference?
iPhone 12 ni dia punya
Ooh.
dynamic range dia lain.
Yeah, for some reason it looks like the iPhone 12
Tapi waktu kita
has
rakam tu
better,
saya tekan dekat tempat yang sama.
but so that just proves that the iPhone 12 has better dynamic range because you can see like in the sky here there's a little bit more detail in the iPhone 12 compared to over here where it's just completely washed out. But one thing I am noticing that I don't really like is the iPhone 12 has a bit of a green tint, slightly greenish, isn't it? Like look at the white here, it's like a bit green compared to this one. This one's like a bit more blue magenta. So it's like a cooler tone, I guess. That one you can edit lah, bit in post, but the dynamic range,
Dynamic range tak boleh nak help. Ini
we're
dah
trying to bring it back in.
dah ni overexpose lah, tak boleh buat apa. Cannot be recovered dah.
Yeah, it looks like it's just completely white. Alright, what's this? Oh,
Ini
portrait.
guna
Ooh.
kamera utama.
So the 12 and 13 both don't have telephoto, so we
Tak
don't
ada.
get the telephoto
Yep.
portrait. So this with the white camera,
White
the 1X
camera.
one.
Lepas tu yang kita nak notice dia punya separation lah. Kat sini nampak bawah ni. Detection dia
yeah,
bagus
it's
lah.
good. Like, can you imagine like nowadays it looks so good compared to when it first came out, right? Like these kind of holes, confirm fail,
kantoi.
confirm fail. But again, I'm noticing a slight bit more vibrance in the 12 one. It's like you see my forehead.
Saturation higher, I think.
Yeah, this one the color is deeper, but this one the color is brighter. It's like the red is brighter, but this one is like a darker, like more saturated red. But again, very very minor difference. Like if you don't put it side by side, I don't think I would be able to tell the difference. Yeah.
Selfie pula.
Ooh, selfie portrait. Yeah, I think it's the same thing as the portrait camera. The back camera also like it's slightly more vibrant, slightly brighter. This one is
Tapi
a
yang
bit
bagus
more
detection dia.
neutral. Yeah. Like look at that. There's a face in the background also, but it's not like picking up or any of that. or,
AI
like,
detection
causing
dah
more
makin
crazy.
bagus lah dekat Apple.
Yeah, so I have to say pretty good, but again, not a big difference because again same camera lah, I guess.
Yang ni memang yang ditunggu-tunggu.
This is low light, right?
Yes.
So to give context, if you've seen the clip that we shot, it was like basically pitch black. The only light was coming from the painting, the photos, which were like illuminated from the back. But yeah, besides that, it's just like
Yang ni lah dimaksudkan oleh Apple waktu dia launch iPhone 13 tu. Dia punya sensor utama dia boleh tangkap cahaya 47% lagi tinggi daripada previous generation.
this is your 47% in work lah.
Yeah, so dia dibuktikan kat sini lah, nampak the contrast.
So if we're talking about exposure, I think both of them did okay.
Yeah.
But I think the 13 probably had a bit more light data because it's able to get the contrast properly. I think what the 12 did to keep up is just like crank up the ISO. Yeah, so then you get like this low
Grain,
contrast,
yeah.
and then you can see a lot of smoothening around the
Denoising.
edges. Yeah, so it's like a flatter image. It brought up the shadows, right, just to compensate. But this one is way more like pleasing. The blacks are black. And then the skin tone looks better also. But as far as detail goes, not a big difference.
No different lah.
Which I'm surprised by because we shot this handheld, so I thought sensor shift will come into to help, right? But looks like the normal OIS is also very good for.
Sharpness lebih kurang.
Tu lah. I think the normal OIS is good enough for like photos already. So
Kalau
I
saya
guess
nak share
that's
pun
fine.
yang ni pun dah cukup bagus lah. Nak share on
Yeah.
social media iPhone 12.
True. Yeah. So I think like as far as difference goes, again, not a huge difference. I thought it would be bigger for the low light, but looks like.
Tapi tetap ada.
Right, what's
Ni patutnya tak ada beza lah. Sebab
Oh, the
kamera
ultra wide.
ultra lebar. ultra wide.
Okay. Yeah. Again, it still looks nice.
Tapi
So we
dia,
shot.
dia tak sama dengan 12 lah. Ultra
Oh.
wide 12 dengan 12 punya main camera.
Yeah, this one is significantly darker. Maybe because the ultra wide just cannot let in as much light. Aperture dia lebih kecil. We shot all of this with night mode, right?
Yep. Auto.
Okay. Yeah, Apple's night mode is pretty good nowadays.
Ini selfie dua-dua macam hampir.
Yeah,
All
it's,
light.
it's exactly the same. It's
Soft
disastrous.
lah.
This is the 12, right? The 12 one looks, I think, a bit worse, slightly worse. Maybe my hand was shaking
Too
a bit
much
more.
denoise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like super aggressive with the denoising, right? Yeah, compared to the 13. I think the 13 is a bit nicer.
Okay, sekarang kita pergi kepada kategori video. Video sepatutnya ada beza sebab cara iPhone 13 dengan 12 dia stabilizekan video lain. iPhone 12 dia guna optical, dia punya lens dia tu gerak. Dekat iPhone 13 dua benda bergerak, lens dengan sensor. Sama macam yang digunakan dekat iPhone 12 Pro Max.
So the top one is the iPhone 12,
Okay.
the bottom one is the iPhone 13, alright? Boom. So we are running here.
Nampak kat sini, kat tiang ni.
You were running different, is it? You were running more steady, is it? Okay, there is a difference. There's definitely a difference if we were to play the video again. So you can see like this one is way more. The 13 is way more like steady, right? Whereas the 12 is a bit more.
Tapi ni kami
shaky.
rakam handheld
Yeah.
bukan guna gimbal apa ke.
Che, it's not that stable that people will think it's a gimbal lah. Don't oversell your sensor shift, okay? Come on now. But I mean the 12. Okay, so here's my defense for the 12. This one looks more like action shot, Michael Bay. Shaky cam. Both of them good, but the 13 is better. Definitely better. Yeah,
Yep.
can definitely tell. Okay, so now we go into low light. Is it?
Low light pula.
Okay. Okay. So the top one 12, bottom one 13. Let's go. Oh, that's
ada.
interesting.
Ada sikit.
There's a lot more
Sebab
warping.
jittering tak ada kan.
Yeah, there's a lot more jittering on the 12, right? The 13 macam less jittery, right? Because you see when you
Kat snake ni.
yeah, the text is like yeah, definitely more stabilization than the 13. So this one, Matnip ran both for both phones. So yeah, for sure there's a difference. The 12 is not as good. Yeah, the 13 is definitely more steady.
Tapi even though iPhone 13 punya sensor besar, exposure macam tak ada beza pun.
Right? Yeah, image quality is something that I noticed for both videos. They look about the same. So I guess
Dia macam tak guna whole sensor mungkin. Punya 4K dia.
because of the stabilization. Maybe. Yeah, so that's why it cannot take advantage of all the extra light lah. So yeah, we shot both the videos at 4K 30 with the stabilization on. So it's exactly the same settings. Interesting. Okay. But Okay, so I mean, conclusion-wise, I guess the findings that we find...
Pada saya ada beza.
Ada beza.
Rory masih tak convince lagi.
The beza is like, come on, it's like barely any difference.
Okay lah. Kalau semua tak boleh kak, saya ada satu lagi trik ni saya nak
Ui.
tunjuk kepada anda.
Apa ni? Trap card ke?
Tunggu. Satu kelebihan yang ada pada iPhone 13 yang tak ada pada iPhone 12 adalah cinematic mode. Ia adalah pertama sekali diperkenalkan pada siri iPhone 13 ni lah. Apa yang cinematic mode buat adalah anda boleh rakam video dengan kesan bokeh macam filem Hollywood. Okey, nampak tak bokeh kat situ? Nampak Rory kat situ dia blur kan? Okey. Okey. So kita record. So kelebihan iPhone 13 ni, bila kita record, kita nak alihkan fokus, dia punya transition dia smooth je. Nampak? Keep recording, betul pop. Nampak? Okay. Lepas tu lagi satu kelebihan dia, kita stop kan. Lepas tu kita tekan preview. Lepas tu kita edit. Kita boleh pilih kat siapa kita nak fokus. Uish. Okay, kita sekarang dah sampai ke bahagian conclusion. Saya nak bagi saya punya pendapat. Lepas tu Rory akan bagi pendapat juga. Pertama sekali saya nak kata memang ada beza antara kamera iPhone 13 dengan iPhone 12.
Okay, fair enough.
Memang dalam cahaya terang, iPhone 12 dengan 13 tak banyak beza kecuali pada video lah. Ada stabilization. Tapi pada low light, ada beza terutama pada kamera utama dia lah. Beza harga antara 12 dengan 13 adalah RM500 tau. iPhone 12 harga dia RM3,399. Beza RM500. RM500 tu anda dapat selain daripada kamera utama macam iPhone 12 Pro Max, anda juga dapat SoC yang baru, Apple Bionic A15. Lepas tu dia punya panel paparan dia 27% lagi cerah. Lepas tu anda dapat storan lagi tinggi, 64 lawan 128GB.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference.
Lepas tu bateri, kalau ikut laman web yang dia iklankan tu, 2 jam lagi lama untuk tengok video.
Which is impressive because
sama besar badan semua tapi lagi lama.
Yeah, maybe it's more efficient processing, slightly bigger battery. Because the battery life for the 12 is already very good, so the 13 being even better, it's like it's legit.
Dan yang terakhir, cinematic mode.
Okay, yeah, cinematic mode is quite cool, I have to say. At first I was like, I didn't get it because I got served the ads and I didn't understand what was going on. And then when you showed me, I was like, well, okay, this is cool.
Bila dah record tu kita boleh tukar.
Yeah.
Fokus tu yang
which is impressive. Yeah, you can change it in post, which is like quite cool. Yeah.
So Rory, what do you think?
I think okay, if you are just looking for a camera, if you just want to upgrade for the camera,
from 12 lah.
Yeah, from 12 to 13. I don't think it's worth it because
kecuali you ada 64GB punya iPhone.
yeah, actually that's true. But you see, if you look at the 64GB, let's say 128 to 128, right? Actually, the difference is only RM300. It's not even that big, right? So if you just go for the camera, I don't think it's worth it. But if you factor in everything else, like the new processor, the better screen, the better battery life,
RM300 je.
Yeah, I think okay lah. I don't think it's really too egregious if you want to upgrade. But if you're on the 12, I think you can just stick to the 12 because I think everything else that the 13 can do, the 12 does like about 80-90% of what it can do. But if you're on an older phone, like let's say a 10 or like an 8, then you can go with, I think it's worth going straight to the 13 rather than the 12.
Okay. Setuju.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is the 13 a better phone? Yes. But don't kena con by the marketing nonsense. The camera actually not a big difference. It's like not even 10% difference, okay? It's like so small, so minimal. Except that cinematic mode. I really like the cinematic mode. Okay, so yeah, that's about it.
So, macam mana pendapat anda? Kalau anda ada pendapat, anda boleh turunkan dalam ruangan komen. Saya berminat sangat nak dengar anda punya pendapat. 13 iPhone atau iPhone 12 lagi bagus kalau anda nak bermula dengan iPhone ni. Okay, sampai di sini sajalah video dui bahasa Inggeris dan bahasa Melayu saya dengan Rory. Kalau anda nak tengok lagi banyak video macam ni, anda turunkanlah kat dalam komen nanti. Kata nak tengok. Video pasal apa tu? Turunkan juga. Okay, selain kat YouTube, kami juga ada dekat Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Kemudian kami juga ada dekat TikTok. Assalamualaikum.
Bye.